See if I'm going to have to mute this or not. Oh, good. All right. We are live. Welcome to WyzGyz Entertainment. This is your host, Wyman. We are joined by a very special guest, John Gallagher.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it. I love coming here. My second, third time, I think. I know last time I was on, your channel kept getting strikes and getting and kept, they kept canceling us. Hopefully, it won't happen this time. I'll try to keep it PG, man.
Well, it's an adults-only channel, so you're pretty free to say what you want. And if we do get canceled, then I'll try and start up a new one real quick.
You can blame me for it. You can definitely blame me for it.
Yeah, those are so far, knock on wood, it hasn't happened in some time, but those were the days.
I would say actually YouTube has gotten a little better since when the whole, I don't know if I'm supposed to say, when this whole pandemic started happening, YouTube videos were being taken down left and right. You couldn't even say the word.
I know, that's crazy.
You couldn't even make a mention of it or anything like that. Your channel will get a strike right away, and your video will get taken down. But I think it has kind of normalized a little bit. And it was, and to be fair, to not shit on YouTube so much. It was a lot of bots mostly. They were picking up the words and just automatically doing it for no reason.
Right.
But I think it's gotten better. Don't get me wrong, they still censor. I think he's gotten better.
Well, yeah. And, I'll give it that. At the same time, I can't help but still wonder about, when they started implementing more and more bots at the start of the pandemic, they were all claiming that due to COVID, people aren't able to work from the office.
Right.
If anything, because Google owns YouTube and Google is so freaking rich, and they're making money hand over fist, and so is YouTube, the company they own. Doesn't it seem kind of strange that a job which is basically entails a human being watching YouTube videos, checking for content that might violate terms of service? Right. Isn't that kind of peculiar that of all the things that they could cut back on, they would have to change, have to convert that kind of role to bots where it's a job you can perfectly do fine from home?
Right. I think the main thing here is context, right? That's something humans can do that machines cannot. They understand context. They understand, nuisance. They understand what you mean. You know what I mean? As opposed to a bot that would just shut you down right away if it picks up a word that's programmed to make it react that way. So that's why, like, every time I call, a place, right away I want to speak with a representative, with an agent. You know what I mean? I don't want to hear your voicemail. I definitely prefer the interaction because obviously you can understand another person better. So yeah, definitely, it's definitely shame on YouTube for doing that, without a doubt, because it leaves no room for context anymore. And I think you see it throughout all the platforms, really, if you think about it. How there's really no room for misunderstanding, which is it's infantilizing, if you will, in a way. And that's the word I was looking for. The way we interact online. You know what I mean? This policing. Like you take a look at what happened with Twitter not too long ago with the whole hydroxychloroquine thing, that you couldn't even say the word before you were censored, or you were taken down, your account was blocked or something like that. It's ridiculous, What if you were on the other side of the argument and you were, actually against it? But it's this cuddling, it's this culture of cuddling, it's words matter a lot to them, and anything that can be misconstrued or perceived as offensive, or even just perceived as problematic just has to go. And it's a shame, it's definitely violation of free speech. That's why it's so interesting to see and follow up with what's happening with big tech and where that would go.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, you're seeing a huge increase in censorship on Twitter, Facebook, and it even looks like it's, well, in YouTube, but it's also starting to happen more and more with Patreon and Twitch too. I mean, it's like you may be aware, with Japanese anime, a lot of the main characters or protagonists are, young female characters, and so like Patreon and like Amazon are taking that as an excuse to say, all right, well, we can't tell. We're going to err on the side of caution. We're going to assume that these are underage girls in anime. So we're going to ban that kind of stuff. We're going to boycott it. Or we're going to just remove it from our services so people can't.
Well, and one thing that you guys may not know is we were actually directly affected by that with Kindle. Because the Grim Reaper 1, after we fulfilled it to the backers, was actually made available in Japanese. Through Wega Comics. And once we are done with the fulfillment of this campaign, then hopefully we'll get Grim Reaper 2 in Japanese as well. But yeah, so the whole censorship thing affected the company that translated it and who's really publishing it over there. So we'll see where that goes. But Japan will be damned if they bend the knee. I'll tell you. They have a different history. When it comes to what's perceived as politically correct, and they have their own culture, and they cannot. I'm telling you, if they give them as much as an inch, the politically correct, the professionally offended people from the West will take a whole mile. So definitely not setting a good precedent at all. Japan cannot just accommodate to the standards of the West, because the West has lost its collective freaking mind. You know what I mean? And Japan seems like about one of the very few places with some semblance of mental sanity still left in the world.
Oh, so, yeah, I know.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I went there, by the way, myself. I was in Japan in 2015. Yes, I guess you can say I lived there for about 3 months. Back when I was in the United States military. I loved it. I thought it was very expensive. You know what I mean? I thought it was very expensive. Tokyo in particular was extremely expensive. But it was definitely a great time. And I just was not just in Tokyo. I got to go to Kyoto, Matsumoto, Fuji Yoshida, a bunch of other great places. And I love that country, especially it's the fact that they're so proud of their heritage and their culture. They're very Japanese centric, if you will, in their own. They will not, like, if you don't speak their language, they're not going to try to converse with you in English at all. In fact, and this might be perceived as a little bit xenophobic or whatever you might say, but some people just don't bother interacting with you at all if you are what they call a gaijin, right? Don't get me wrong, they were super nice. They were super polite. They were super nice, but they just don't put up with your shit, especially if you're an outsider. You have no business, you have no business disrespecting their way of life. So if you're loud, if you are obnoxious, they will have you removed. They have no problem in being called whatever label the professionally offended want to throw at them, because they just don't do things like that over there. So it was definitely a culture shock to see that, but it was also very refreshing, to see that there were still places in the world with some common sense. It's just become something of the West, and especially of Europe, that you have to accommodate to newcomers, and if you don't, then you're of course called a racist right away. In Japan, things were completely the opposite. You have to, if you're there, you have to follow the rules. You know what I mean? You have to follow their way of life, at least respect it, of course. Otherwise, what's your business there?
Right.
Something that I definitely admire about them, and that really, really woke me up to a lot of things.
Almost definitely. Yeah, same here. Because, you remember that story from many years ago where some punk kid was, uh, I think it was Singapore.
Mm.
He was trying to tag using spray paint, and
Oh,
and then the authorities, the cops came by, and I think they caned him or something.
yeah.
And
Well,
you know,
well, I mean, they're very strict on things like that, which is why their cities look so damn amazing. I never,
oh,
when the time I was in Asia, I never saw um,
anyway,
trash on the ground. You know what I mean, or graffiti, or any of that. And even people can make the case. Even that might have its charm in its place, but over there it would have just looked weird if you saw trash or a mess in the streets. You wouldn't see that, or homelessness or anything like that. And that is, like, for example, they have this store in Japan called Seven Eye Holdings, which is kind of like the version of 7-Eleven, right?
okay,
And I love going there because it was like the only place I kind of felt like I could get American stuff, if that makes sense. I know that you're supposed to immerse yourself in the experience,
oh
but
yeah, for sure.
being that I am so very allergic to shellfish, I had to be very careful with what I ate over there. You know what I mean?
Oh wow,
And it always cracked me up when I go to the Seven Eye Holdings because they have the funniest names when they translate it in English for
uh-huh.
food. Like they had something like something called bread to make your life happy or something like that. It was very cute.
Yeah.
But one thing you could not get was gum. It's banned. It's completely outlawed. You know what I mean? You cannot chew gum
Oh,
because they'll throw it in the ground and people will step on it, and that's it. You have no saying in the matter. So they definitely they keep their towns and their cities clean, and that's a system that just works for them. And with likewise with their entertainment, it's just bonkers. It's crazy. It's all out there. It's something that maybe as an outsider you may never understand, but you can still appreciate. Which is why it would be a shame if like I always call them, the professionally offended ever have a saying in the way Japanese do their entertainment. It will be an absolute loss for humanity.
oh my gosh, yeah. Oh my gosh. Uh, wow, yeah, that must have been an experience. Uh,
Yeah.
being able to live in Japan even for 3 months.
Mhm.
I mean, it gives you a chance to soak in the culture, check out a lot of uh, not only tourist sites but places that locals frequent.
Oh
Usually,
yeah.
the best places to go to are where the locals go
Right.
because they know where the good stuff is.
Right. And like I said, cultures can be very different. Obviously, our differences may be what makes us alike, but at the same time, our differences can be very notable. Especially when you talk about that Japanese, that Eastern Asian culture. It's just very unique. I mean, it's just very unique.
Mm,
Uh, Many things. There were many things that I was very surprised with. One thing was just the quietness and the silence of, like just the park. There's this beautiful castle in a little town called Matsumoto. It's not very far away from Tokyo. You can get there by train in like 2 hours or less.
yeah.
Um, and um, and I remember going to check out the castle, which was beautiful, and it had like a moat around it with koi fish. It was beautiful.
Mhm.
And I remember there was so many people out there, but yet you couldn't hear a voice. You could easily fall asleep on the grass and not be bothered by the tens of people who are just walking around you because they just don't talk in public. That's just something that they perceive as rude.
Oh,
And if you are that type of loud, disruptive, you get very nasty looks, or you get the cops calling. You know what I mean? It's because that's just their way. You know what I mean?
yeah. It kind of reminds me of how, you know, I don't know if you've been to any or many, but uh, those Japanese tea gardens.
Mm,
That, well, the only ones I'm familiar with are the versions that are in America.
right.
I haven't been out of the country, and it's one of those places that, as you start to enter, you immediately know there's a sense of calm.
Right.
Oh my gosh, what kind of timing was that?
There
Just
goes your comb.
yeah, just a side note, a tangent. I'm in an apartment, right? So the management office doesn't like people, hanging things up with nails and stuff.
Right.
So I'm trying to use nothing but 3M strips and
Oh, I hear you. You gotta check. You gotta check the weight capacity on those, though.
yeah,
They usually do tell you how much weight they can withstand. I made that mistake many times with things that had glass, and I didn't check that they could only hold like a pound or something. So they kept falling off. I'm like, what the hell am I doing wrong?
yeah,
It's not supposed to hold that much weight.
yeah. What's weird is that some things will hold just fine with one hook, and it's supposed to be within the weight limitation.
Right.
And then others, like I've got a bunch of movie posters behind me.
Mhm.
They've been on there for months, whereas any new movie posters I try to hang up, they
Right.
fall.
Oh yeah, that's awful.
Yeah. Well, anyway, that noise was one of my frames falling down to the ground as soon as I said the word calm. Yeah. So when you are entering a Japanese gardens,
Mhm.
everything is so beautifully manicured.
Yeah.
Everything, all the bushes are like shaped like balls and stuff.
Right.
The trees look gorgeous and the paths are clear. Um, there's like a level of serenity where it almost, that alone almost kind of forces your voice down.
Right. One thing I'll tell you. Another thing that really was very pleasant for me because it made me realize how that I was wrong in the wrong place. Because that I was born in the wrong place. Because I've always this is my biggest pet peeve in life. I always said it. Don't ever waste my time. You know what I mean? That to me, time is the most precious thing ever, and that's why I'm so impatient. Yeah, I'm so impatient. I like things to get done quick. My wife hates me for this, but when we go shopping, I want to get in and out. And one thing that the Japanese do is they are on time, my friend. I'm talking, they are never late. You know what I mean? They're never late. Neither is the train or the bus or whatever, the airplane. When it says that it's leaving or arriving at a specific time, expect it 59 seconds earlier because that's exactly when it's going to be there ready. And that's just kind of like part of the culture. If they fail at that, they feel like they failed. As opposed to here where you're calling people you're supposed to meet and they tell you, yeah, I'll be ready in 5 minutes. They haven't even freaking woken up. You know what I mean? So yeah, definitely a culture shock. But I've been like that all my life. I go out of my way to respect people's time, to be on time, and to be punctual. But nowadays it's just like, what's the point? If everybody's doing it wrong, why should I do it right?
Oh, man. Yeah, there is that tendency, true.
Right.
Yeah, you try not to get sucked into all that and to, maintain a certain level of professionalism. Because, being late or being early is a matter of um, respect.
Yes.
And if you're willing to be late for the hell of it and not give a darn one way or the other, then you are like, you're reflecting poorly.
Yes. Yes. Of course. Yeah, it's like with many other things, and I'm just being picky here. But another thing is like, if we are going somewhere, but you stop to talk to someone else, it really pisses me the hell off. You know what I mean? I'm like, come on, again, time matters, and time is life. Time is life. You are literally killing me when you're late. You know what I mean? You are taking away my life.
Oh man, yep, taking literally, yep,
Mhm.
that's absolutely true. Oh my gosh. So you, uh, first of all, you and your wife Carla uh, joined forces, if you will, and released or started an Indiegogo campaign for the Grim Reaper 2.
Absolutely.
Uh, and then you guys had been working on heavily promoting that, getting the work done behind the scenes, getting the, well, even through YouTube videos, showing us the behind the scenes work that's involved in putting such a book together. Uh, and then at a certain point, then both you and her kind of split off and did side projects. So
Right.
she's doing like a mom vlog,
Mhm.
kind of showcasing her day to day and what motherhood is like for her. And then you went this other direction, which is getting into, as you put it, rants. And
Yeah.
so you came up with the Masked John Speaks.
Mhm.
Tell us about the creation of it.
Right. Yeah. No. Like you said, each of us have our own unique passions outside of comic or outside of the comics world, if you will. You know what I mean? One thing I've always liked was both movies, documentaries, and that's something that I plan on working on in the future. Hopefully, um, when the time comes, hopefully it will come. And another thing that's a big passion of me, and I'm kind of a I'm kind of weird because I've always liked it even since a very young age. Is politics. It's something that really makes me very passionate. And how could you not? Everything nowadays is so damn political.
Mhm.
Um, Now the character of Mas John was pretty much born out of this profound disgust that I have for the mandatory masks that were implemented in my state. Of course, I don't have a problem with people taking care of their health. I just have a problem with people imposing something that's obviously fear mongering and that's not going to do a darn thing to curb the problem that we have with the pandemic, right?
Mhm.
It's obviously proven. It's in the very box that you buy with the mask. It says right there, it won't prevent anything. Now I get it, and this is kind of like what they were doing, copying more successful models, especially in the Asian countries, like I was mentioning before. There's this thing of politeness, and there's this thing of respect and consideration for others. The reason why they wear masks is to not be coughing on other people and sneezing on other people when they're sick. It's not to stop themselves from catching anything. It's not going to work. Um, but I've seen so much insanity of people thinking that that you are killing them by the very act of just not wearing a mask. That I decided to take a stand. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna create this character who's gonna basically just talk a lot of shit on YouTube and not wear a mask in real life. And I have done it. I'm telling you, I get the dirtiest looks. I go to all the stores you can think of, and I never wear one. And the times I've been asked to, I just had religious reasons, which is bullshit because I'm agnostic. But I will get out of it. And I've stood my ground at work as well. I don't wear them because I just don't like to be forced to do things.
Right.
Uh, and so that's kind of how this character came up. And of course, I've always been wanting to kind of talk about current things,
Current event.
that current events, and of course things that are on the news.
Mhm.
Give my opinion about it. Not that anybody cares, but I still want to put it out there. Just for people to kind of see, not only where I stand, but maybe I can get a different perspective that someone hasn't that someone hasn't probably seen it the same way as I do, and just share my thoughts with the world. So it's not definitely not about anonymity at all, because you can see my face in other videos in the very same channel. So and I'm here. So it's more of having fun while really talking about serious stuff. Because you may not, a lot of people may not see it that way, but I maybe it's the Pisces in me. I don't know, but I see every time I look around and every time I look online, just this much suffering and pain. And I mean, my God, just there's just so much anger, violence. There's so much awful stuff, and I guess people are very quick to just say, "Oh yeah, that's awful," but then move on. You know what I mean? It kind of sticks with me, so I gotta let it out somehow.
Yeah.
I gotta talk about it, because people are dying, and of course, people will always be dying. That's nature. But I don't think that a lot of the things that are happening are right, and they shouldn't be happening. And I really despise the fact that a lot of people are just idly standing by, or maybe even condemning it a little bit, but just moving on with their lives, which is the healthy thing to do. But I don't. I I just rant about it and tell you how I feel. Um, and even denounce things that might have flown over people's head. Maybe they didn't pay attention to what's going on. So that's basically the reason behind it, and I really hated to drag Carla down with me on this path. So she went ahead and created her own YouTube channel to do like more cute stuff that she likes.
So did you keep the channel on White Cat Comics for the reason of just maintaining like a foundation, and White Cat Comics covers?
Yeah, I mean, I figure that with all the topics that I'm touching and all the things that I'm saying, that I was never gonna get promoted by YouTube at all, which is the case. Is in fact the case. If I didn't tell my subscribers that I put a new video out, they would have never found out. So the reason why I kept in Wildcat Comics is because it already has a foundation of a number of followers.
Mm-hmm.
If I started from scratch, believe me, I would get 0 views because nobody would find out about my videos. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You know how censorship is, like we were talking
Oh,
earlier. In fact, there was one very controversial, that I think you can see it right there, is the link between autism and vaccines, which I did very much believe in, not just because I'm crazy, but because I've spoken with people who know about these stuff, doctors. I have a pediatrician who is very much an anti-vaxxer. I have there's a couple. The guy is a cardiologist, and then my friend who's his wife, she's a pharmacist, and they're both very much anti-vaxxers. So I'm not just speaking out of my ass. Of course, I try to do my research, and I put my opinions out there. Let you be the judge about whether or not I'm full of shit. You know what I mean? But I let people decide and make whatever conclusions they want out of it. But in that very video regarding the link of vaccines and autism, and my opinion about the current virus, right there, right when you click, there's a Wikipedia article that pops out underneath. That's basically just discrediting everything I say. It's like, okay, so this guy's talking about this controversial topic. Let me tell you the truth, which is hilarious when you think about the fact that they are citing a Wikipedia article.
Uh-huh.
Now, I'm sure you are a man of a degree. I'm sure you have a degree. You went to school. What was the first thing they told you? Don't use Wikipedia. It's not a reliable source, because anybody can go and edit it.
Mm-hmm.
So, but YouTube still has the nerve to put a Wikipedia page like Wikipedia is the word of God. You know what I mean? So that just goes to show the kind of censorship we're up against. And look, and even if I am just talking out of my ass, what's the big deal? What's the damage?
Right.
People will see through it. And they will say, okay, dude, this guy's insane, and watch something else. Maybe other people will agree with me. Right. But like I said, I'm not here to dissuade anybody or try to make anybody think like me. What I'm here is to maybe just ask some questions for you to do your own research and come up with your own conclusions. Hopefully, that's all.
Yeah, I mean, that's the way to do it. One of the things that's lacking nowadays is common sense, the willingness to do the research necessary to, decipher what is real news and what's fake news.
Yeah.
And also the willingness to pursue the truth instead of just accept things at at face value.
Yeah.
I would be inclined to say you and me probably agree on most everything on these kinds of topics.
Yeah.
Because, this whole pandemic thing is seriously bad, but it's what's the term, propagated or proliferated by mass media who are falsely driving everyone into a huge panic and all this fear mongering. And I mean, you were talking about the masks.
Yeah.
And there are studies out there saying the particulate of COVID-19 is so small that it will easily pass through the
Yeah, even the N95s and N99s, they can get through it.
yeah, exactly. So it's like, what's really the point? I mean, if people could just get used to coughing in the inside of their elbow, or covering their face when they're going to cough or sneeze, instead of just letting it all out in the open.
Right, of course. No, and washing their hands, you know what I mean? I'm appalled by the fact that I am just finding out, because all my life I naively thought that everybody was like me and wash their hands after pooping or peeing.
I
You know what I
know.
mean? But now I'm coming to find out that that's, I guess, not a common practice anymore at work. You know what I mean? And then they come and shake hands with me, maybe even touch my face because I'm beautiful. You never know. You never know what people are doing anymore.
I
And
know.
it's very like you said, it's just a lack of common sense. Of course, always, wipe your desk and keep hygiene, because look, your first line of defense is going to be your hair, and then after that, your skin. You know what I mean? If you keep that clean, nothing is gonna get through. And but there are many misconceptions. People are overusing hand sanitizer. Hand sanitizer can really dry you up, and if it dries up enough, it will open cracks, and then now you have cracks through which bacterium can get through. So I think that in the craziness of trying to prevent disease, I think they are actually going to cause more problems. You had that case of that other guy. I can't really remember where it was, but I had it saved up, whose daughter had to go to the emergency room because she had inhaled too much of her own carbon dioxide for having a very tight mask. And so it's not about health. This whole mask mandate is as much about health as Black Lives Matters is about black lives. You know what I mean? It's not. It's about the usual, controlling you, keeping you in line, making sure you, testing you too, seeing how much you comply, making sure you are a good boy. You know what I mean? Basically, in other words.
Yeah.
And of course, at the end of the day, it's politicized just for the fact that they want to make the president look bad so that he loses the election.
Right.
Which is why you always see in election years all this mayhem and craziness happening. I don't even want to see what the 4th of November will look like. It would probably be the apocalypse. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like there's an epidemic every election year.
Right.
And it's like, what? Oh man, there's so many crazy topics and so many nutty things in the world. So you live your day-to-day life, going out in public to establishments and stuff without a mask.
Yeah.
Do businesses frequently get on your case about it? Do they try to prevent you from even entering the building?
No, they and I know they can't. Walgreens doesn't do that. Walmart cannot do it either. By the way, no business should do it, technically speaking, because you can cite the American with Disabilities Act, which, for example, if you have any kind of skin condition or if you just can't breathe with the damn thing, they don't have to force you to it. However, they're still private businesses and they can very well just deny you service. But I don't know. I think, and I always say that I just get lucky all the time because people just they see me in real life and I'm a pretty big dude and they just don't want to fuck with me. You know what I mean? So for the most part, I'm left alone most of the time. I have been passively aggressive, confronted here and there once in a while. I will say that the place where they're the most anal about it is where you get barbershops, right? I would say that's the place that. And for a while there, I played the rebel card and I said, I'm not gonna get a haircut. But then I got too hairy, and the thing about me is I have such curly hair that I just get this horrendous Jufro. You know what I mean? That I just have to take care of. So that's the one time I bent the knee and actually put my mask on just to get a bum haircut. Right. But the lady was very nice about it. It wasn't like she was. But there was another time. There's a gas station here in Arizona called the Quick Trip. It's like the Circle K of Arizona, if you will. And they were mandating it. And I remember one time I got in and I read the sign and I subconsciously went like this with my shirt, just so that they wouldn't say anything because I was having a shitty day. And then the guy at the counter just laughed and said, "Don't worry about it." You know what I mean? So I also have the luck of kind of living in a mildly conservative kind of red state, if you will.
Oh,
So most people are not too crazy. I don't know how this would be if I live, for example, New York.
yeah, I mean, it's we got a question from White Cat Comics. Why are you so beautiful, John?
I want to say to all the viewers, I did not write that question. That's my wife over there messing around in the. Come on, baby, you know why I'm so beautiful. What kind of question is that?
Uh, oh, yeah, so beautiful.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
So, yeah, I mean, I'm kind of torn. I'm in what is traditionally a blue state, Ohio.
Yeah.
So everyone is like, right on top of following everything that the governor says. And, as much as I hate it, I try and comply when I'm there.
Yeah.
But other than that, first thing off is the mask.
Right.
And, I work in a business that is requiring the mask, and I'm at a point at which I'm contemplating whether to even consider quitting if they're going to insist that everyone mandatorily wear masks, because I just don't believe it myself, because it's not really doing anyone good. It's just making everyone get dizzy.
Yeah, and I mean, how long are we gonna keep this going for? It's enough, man. It's time. It's time. Reopen the damn. They've done more damage to the economy. Look. If you actually factored in, I did this yesterday with the power of my math skills, meaning I could use Google, and literally from all the death, not counting the deaths, I'm sorry, just the contagion. The people who have been contaminated with the virus, the people who have contracted the virus. That's less than 2% of the United States population. However, you have more than 30 million people unemployed or receiving unemployment benefits, right? And unemployment insurance, which you saw how much the president had to spend, or the Federal Reserve had to spend on sending everyone that check, and they're gonna do a second round of that. Are they trying? They're just trying to destroy the entire economy, and the population who have been affected by the government, by the shutdowns, and by the businesses closures, and by being fired, far exceeds the number of people who have actually had the virus, much less the people who died from it, because it has a tremendous survivability rate.
Yeah, it's
So
97-98% recovery from COVID from those classified as being flagged positive.
yeah.
Yeah, and then on top of that, do you hear all the reports from New York about how the governor was, hey there, statistical zero, welcome. Just want to pop in and say hi to everyone before he signed off and go to sleep. Hi, good night, all. Have a good one, Stato.
Have a good one, man. I hope I wasn't boring you too much.
Yeah, do you hear the stories in New York how the governor, not only were they closing, they weren't closing prisons, but they were releasing inmates,
Yeah.
I guess, of lesser known charges,
Yeah.
like rape, and then letting them back out in the population, and in some cases, housing them in retirement homes.
Oh yeah. I mean, of course, and you have here's my biggest problem with the left right now, is that it has become so dogmatic, so religious, like, that they're so set in their ways. They will be willing to defend anything that even goes against the most logical and most common sense approach.
Mhm.
Now, on one side, that's good. Because a lot of moderate to center left, maybe people will wake up and say, oh, you know what? I'm in the wrong fucking team. Let me go to the right side of history. But a lot of these people, I always say this in my videos, America, the United States has become the single biggest open doors insane asylum in the world. They shut those down thanks to Gerardo Rivera, and now and look, and maybe rightfully so. You had a lot of mistreatment, a lot of abuse going on in those places, but they shut them down, and now people who statistically going to have a percentage of the population who's just crazy. You know what I mean? It's just going to happen. Much more, especially with the way we eat and the medication that we're giving children, because they just can't stand. They just can't be still for 5 minutes, so they get medicated with ADHD drugs and things like that, who will eventually mess them up in the head.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So now you have all of these crazy people without a moral compass, without any kind of guidance. You know what I mean? Who have been indoctrinated by academia and the media, and they're violent criminals, and now they're releasing them into the public. And they're just walking scot-free without any consequence. And you especially have the case of New York. You have that guy in particular who was let out, who was very violent, and who the first thing what he did was just knock old man unconscious on the ground just because he was passing by him. These are people who are not well. You have that other guy who had assault charges, battery charges, who had assault with a deadly weapon, who had even an armed robbery case. I don't remember particularly where it was, and he was living with his girlfriend. Then he decided to kneel on a little toddler's neck and post a picture to post it online. Take a picture, post it online. So you have all these people who are just completely unwell, who are insane, who are not getting the care that they should be getting, really. But that's okay, because the left, as religious as it has become, has included all this kind of mental disabilities, really, as just another identity. You even have the fat positive movement. You have people who are literally eating themselves to death, being praised and being elevated to a status of because to them, the more victim you are, the more the more holy you are, if you will, in terms of religion, which they are. You have people with gender dysphoria being praised as the second coming of fucking Jesus. You know what I mean? So you have all these things being not only normalized but encouraged and praised. And you have these gullible kids who are growing up without the proper guidance. And say what you will about religion. I myself am very agnostic, but at least it was good at keeping people in check. And it was good at giving people some kind of moral guidance and moral compass. And once that lost its credibility, deservedly so, people were drawn to a new thing, right? Another moral compass. And what does every religion need? They need the devil. What's the devil in today's society? Well, anybody who's white, anybody who's male, anybody who's straight, anybody who has privilege. You know what I mean? It's just the parallels with the early days of the Catholic Church are just basically the same thing.
Yeah, it's insane. And oh man, we could literally go on for hours and hours on this kind of stuff. I mean, it's all about social conditioning, social engineering, and control. I mean, you can already see it in that, Bill Gates and his foundations, owners of the patent for COVID, are, heavily pushing the idea of mandatory vaccinations.
Right.
And damn well they're not getting very good results with their testing, and they're still pushing to make it a reality. And who knows what the hell else they're adding to those.
I mean, they are, they became so rich. You know what I mean? They see the problem. A lot of problems that I see, and I hope to God, really I do, that companies wake up to this reality. Because they are siding with social Marxists and little socialists. And something that companies need to figure out, and they need to figure it out right now, is that the socialists are literally against them. Pandering to them is not going to do anything. Like many other companies have, like Nike does, for example. Just to give you one example.
Oh man, yeah.
They're the biggest capitalists in the world. They use slave labor in China, but nobody will call them out on it, of course. But they pander to all these social movements and think thinking that they're the trendy thing that kids are doing nowadays, you know. So they do it because it's their market strategy, you know. They just want to pander to whatever the cool kids are doing nowadays. And it's a stupid position because,
It
you
is.
know, eventually they're gonna turn on them. So I praise companies like Goya and Monster because I've said this a million times. I've said this a million times, and I said it to El Maestro Canales the other day too, when he was wondering whether he was being too rough on the SJWs or not. I said this: SJWs, you know, these mentally weak, you know, conditioned uh, puppets. These people will go for the weakest link. You know what I mean? Once you show even the slightest amount of weakness, they will eat you like piranhas. You know, they'll just gang up on you and try to destroy you as much as possible. But if you are a complete wrecking ball who does not give a fuck, man, and you just destroy everything, they will leave you alone because they're scared. They're scared of confrontation. We saw the other day in Portland. They go march in this neighborhood, right in the suburbs. They go protest there. They go there with the intention of bullying people into basically bending the knee. And you know what the people did there? They took a stand. They come out. They punch a few of them in the face. And what did they do? The first thing they do is they call the cops who they want to defund. You know what I mean? Once they saw that didn't work, they did. Because they can't really stand a confrontation. You remember, you know, when Pantifa, like I call them, when they became a thing really here in the United States, at the beginning of the last decade, they were getting their ass kicked all the fucking time by the Proud Boys and by other, you know, right wings and by other, you know, and by just common people. And what they were doing all the time was just running away from it. So what they will do is they will just find anybody who just kind of disagrees with them, but you know what I mean, and they will just attack, and destroy.
Oh yeah.
So I think it's what I really call for in my show is it's just time to stop being so damn nice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
These moderate conservatives, they think that, you know, that they have to be better, that they have to take the moral high ground. You know, that you have to fight fire with water, and I don't think that's gonna work. I don't think that's gonna work. In fact, what you're showing them is weakness, and you gotta understand these kids grew up without consequence. You know, many of them grew up without a parental figure, without the father figure in the house. They don't know what consequences like. They don't know what it's like to actually have, you know, their asses kicked. So what they do, they push the buttons and see how much they can get away with. And so far, society has been extremely lenient with them. They haven't really found out what the real world is like.
Oh,
You want to do an Antifa member a great favor, punch him in the face. It's really like the best thing you could do for them, because that will give him a rude awakening that the world is not all rainbows like they think, and that they cannot bully everyone into thinking like them or acting like them.
for sure. Good point. On that note, let's change gears here. So, you guys, you and Carla have got this great campaign called the Grim Reaper 2. And can you, would you do like, what's your pitch for the story behind Grim Reaper 2?
Well, I mean, I guess to do that, I should probably pitch the first one as well, so to kind of get everything up to speed. So I'm the writer, and we're a husband and wife team. My wife is the artist and the colorist, and I write. And sometimes, I know she's gonna say sometimes, I do the flat colors and the lettering. But she always likes to point out that it is only sometimes, right? It's not a constant thing. This is a weird but really fun blend between many sources of inspiration, such as the Sandman from Neil Gaiman, and even a little bit of Pinhead from the Hellraiser movie. Of course, there's some inspiration from Hellboy, from Spawn, and from all those different ones, kind of put together into one pretty cool story about the origins of the Grim Reaper, of the Angel of Death, right? And how he became that, you know, kind of how it's a job that gets passed from the previous one to the current one. The current one is a World War I soldier, the pilot known as the Red Baron, because I like to throw a lot of historical fiction in it, and how he becomes that. So the main plot of the first one is pretty simple. You know, the group of scientists finally are able to reanimate dead bodies, right? Like people who pave to be cryonically kept on ice after death. Their time finally comes to start, coming back to life, and the Grim Reaper has a huge problem with that because because he cannot kill things without a soul. So they kind of create these Frankenstein type monsters that roam free after. And now the Grim Reaper has to find out a way to kill these zombies. Because he's forbidden by law, by the law of the universe, if you will, to kill things that don't have souls, right? So that's kind of the premise of the first one, and where the conflict comes in. Him trying to stop this mad scientist who's very traumatized by death. He really hates it because he lost his mother at a very young age of cancer. So he just wants to do everything he can to beat death for good. Not understanding really the importance of him, and so that's why we kind of take a hero approach, if you will. Like we take death through the hero's journey, kind of find out who he is and why he's a benevolent being. We see him talking a lady out of suicide because he knows that's not her day. So if she tries it, all she's going to accomplish is to become a vegetable in a hospital bed for the rest of her life. So we see him as kind of this benevolent being that actually helps people. Now, the second one, we kind of take a little bit more of a superhero approach. The Grim Reaper. He now has his horse. He's this fire-breathing horse, and it's kind of it changes gears. It really changes themes really a lot. It's very thematically different from the first one. That the first one was a little bit of horror mixed with cosmic themes, like very Neil Gaiman-ish, if you will, or Alan Moore-ish, if you will. Whereas this one is more of a Batman-esque kind of thing. It's very detective-like type of literature, because the Grim Reaper has to find out about a murder that he didn't authorize, basically. Because he oversees
Whoa. Uh-oh.
all deaths. Go to hell and rescue his soul who was lost, right? And of course, when he goes to hell, all hell breaks loose, no pun intended, because every soul in hell hates him. He put him there, so now he has to fight his way out. And it sounds like a very simple premise, but there's a lot more going on. But I don't want to spoil it. And that's the main two books that we're selling. But we also have a spin-off story that happens in a little bit before during the Soviet Revolution, the Bolshevik Revolution in Russia, that has the Grim Reaper as a character, that also features Rasputin and Princess Romanov, Anastasia Romanov, and a little bit of a love story there that's pretty cool that we're going to expand upon in the future. And you can get all of those three books for just $30. And many other cool things, a lot of other cool merch, like shirts and Pandora's box that yours truly over here got, right? And pinups, you get a pinup for free as well. Everybody gets a free pinup because we reached our goal. And thanks for the opportunity to pitch it, by the way. And that's basically the Grim Reaper in a nutshell.
Right on. Yeah, this looks like an exciting book for sure. I'm looking forward to it hitting 10,000. Excuse me. Not only because that would be a good stretch goal, but because on Carla's stream, Jezebel, Shay, and I have agreed to eat pickles.
Right, yeah. They always come up with this one, and what's funny is, like, I've been so busy with work and just working so damn much, because I'm working 2 jobs now, like I was telling you behind the scenes, that I don't find out about these pickle challenges or anything that's going on at my house anymore. You know what I mean? I just come to find out from third-hand sources, second-hand sources. That's her right here. That's her. Yeah, the other day too, they were talking about pickles. I'm like, what the fuck is going on anymore? I don't know.
Well, whenever the topic comes up, maybe she can send an urgent alert.
Right.
Phone pickle alert.
Pickle alert. That's right. Yeah, no. She has a very successful show in the form of the Powerpuff Girls, and I've heard that the gang has grown as well. So they got pretty much all the hot girls of CG are in it, including my wife, of course.
Oh yeah.
You know, talking about penises all the time for some reason, because that's what I hear. You know what I mean? But they have a pretty successful show. A lot of people watch her. A lot of people watch them. They're very. It's because the thing is they're very genuine. You know what I mean? And they're very fun to watch. You know, I've
Right.
seen some of it, the way they conduct themselves on the show and all that. They definitely have stage presence, and they're great. They're great at entertaining people.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
I'm the opposite, you know, I just want to make people feel like shit. You know what I mean? And put people down. But
Well,
that's just, but that's my my niche, right?
you know what they say? It's all about balance.
It's all about balance, right? Yeah, Wacky Comics has a perfect balance. It definitely has a feminine touch and a masculine one as well.
You got the yin and the yang.
Yeah.
Let's play the trailer real quick.
Yes, of course. I should probably this probably would be a good time to mention as well that all that artwork looks a gazillion times better printed, and that it went through a lot of revisions and editing and stuff like that. So a lot of the panels that you just went through don't look like that. They actually look like 100 times better. But we did. You have to have a good balance between what you can spoil and not giving too much away. You know, um, you don't want to sell yourself short either. You know, but I think people will be pleasantly surprised. All of our backers will be very happy with what they get. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. I totally love the cover. What
Yes.
ended up being the cover. It was well worth the wait for sure.
Yes, and we got it. I don't know where it is. Do you have a copy of the second book right at hand? In hand? Oh, right here. Well, I wanted to. Oh, it's over here. Oh, yeah, right here. And I wanted to show you that this book is actually, the covers here is very glossy, really nice hardcover,
Ooh,
and it's a perfect bound book as well. It's 40 pages plus. It's more than 40 pages, of course. But it has this. It has this spine, I guess you could call it,
nice.
uh, with our logo in the back.
All
So
right.
yeah, really cool.
So that's a finished book, or is that a proof?
Yeah, this is the finished book. We already got the finished books. We're just waiting on our what do we call it, the spin-off. We're waiting on that and the pinups too. I want to show you some interior artwork, if that's okay with Carla, before she kills me. Um, Here's the scene with the um, one of the serial killers from California. So many. Um, the Night Stalker, right? How he was being manipulated by one of Death's children into doing what he was doing, right?
Oh,
A lot of historical fiction there, like I mentioned before. Then, of course, there's the fights in hell. A lot of the fights in hell I want to show you, but I don't want to spoil too much, right? My
right.
favorite page, when Death rescues the soul in hell, when he starts fighting a lot of the demons there. But you can see very well because these pages are so damn glossy, and then with the lighting, of course. But they look so beautiful. This page, a little bit of Greek mythology explaining the origins of the weapon that the enemy of the Grim Reaper is using. A lot of Prometheus thrown in there. And of course, another one of my favorite pages when the two deaths meet. The Angel of Death, Azrael, and then Manfred, our hero. When they meet, very a really healthy blend between manga and Western style, of course.
Nice.
And there's this beautiful, gorgeous, almost spread page of the Grim Reaper riding his horse under the moonlight. Really, really nice one. Yeah, tons of great things. We feature as well in the background. I'm sorry, in the back, we feature a lot of our fan art and things that people have submitted.
Oh
you
my
know,
gosh, how cool!
Right. A lot of other things here. An old picture of us when we were young and beautiful. And yeah, and lots of, thank you to everyone who backed this book, who made it possible. We have it here in our hands. We also have the copy of #1 with this awesome, beautiful cover, very glossy cover. You can look at yourself in this mirror and shave. Obviously, I haven't done it in a while. Got the backstory of the Grim Reaper here when he was the Red Baron. When he was offered the job, you got the mysterious man in the hat here, which is kind of like the preview of what the Grim Reaper looks like before we actually see him in full costume. We have him here taking the soul of a boxer who's dying in the ring, and a bunch of other cool stuff. We have him here, the famous scene of the Grim Reaper in the movie theater, and a bunch which very, very much inspired. I always found that movie theaters are so great for like an action scene. Since I watched An American Werewolf in London. And then, of course, we have our last page here, which has featured all of our backers from the original one in their gravestones, So, yeah, lots of great things. We have a sexy pinup here as well for you guys to enjoy. This is Stemmy's one of, this is Death's daughter.
That's my favorite one.
Very sexy. We have some other sexy pinups for both the boys and the girls, and the non-binaries as well. So, yeah, definitely. If you haven't done so already, back it. You will not regret it. Great book, if I should say so myself.
I'm not sure if I even ever asked it, but since you're making issue 1 available in this campaign, is the same paper and cover quality as the original campaign for Grim Reaper 1, or is it like bumped up a level or two?
I think we did change some things for we did some edits. So there was I can't spoil too much, but it's not going to be the exact same thing.
All right, cool. That's pretty nice. Definitely excited about that.
The first time around was a learning experience for us, and our backers were so wonderful. They reached out with all the feedback, and I told them, look, straight up, if the book is shit, just call me and tell me the book is shit, but I need to know so I can make it better. And they called me and they told me that the book was not shit. So, but there were some things that needed definitely correction. One thing was the margins. Margins was big last time. We had to fix it, and we did. So a lot of people came back and backed it again at that tier, so they can get #1 without the margin. So yeah.
Oh well, I came in late, so I missed out on the first campaign. So what do you mean by the margins? Were they too big, too small?
They weren't extremely big, but they were white. You know what I mean? So it definitely, I don't know, and it was more of a printer error, but it was already too late to fix it. You know what I mean?
All right.
Already spent all the money on it, so it just in a lot of pages it didn't look good, but in some it did. So we just decided to to fix that for the second one, just make them standard, and it was a lot better with the dimensions and the size and the cropping and all that stuff. So it was good.
Sweet. Yeah, just checking out some of the interiors. I was telling Carla previously about how much I enjoyed the way you guys did the lettering.
Absolutely.
Now, am I remembering correctly that the whole story behind Grim Reaper came from your dreams?
Yes, for the most part. For the most part, yeah. Of course, there were things that I was adding them and other things that I took away. Because dreams don't, they may make sense, but you always will have, like, I don't know, a pink elephant in the corner of the room playing the saxophone. You know what I mean? So there were things that were, of course, out of place, and I did away with them. But yeah, for the most part, the main idea, the core idea, did come from a dream.
So you're saying we might not see a cameo from a pink elephant playing the saxophone?
Yeah, you might not.
And of course, the sexy pinups.
Yeah.
I like the group shot.
Yeah, that's actually going to be I don't know anymore because my wife changed things. Went away. But that was supposed to be the T-shirt design.
Oh, I think that's listed in the campaign.
T-shirt design.
Yeah.
All right, I will pass the mic to Carla while I eat real quick.
All right.
She'll explain everything.
Uh-oh. Hey, Wiz, what's up?
How's it going, Carla?
You have no idea the smell that's in the kitchen, like top chef smell. Poor John. I was torturing him. Like I made these, how called pork chops.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's not to brag, but they smell pretty good. So yeah, John was like, like I put the plate in the table. He was like, So yeah.
The way to a man's heart is through his stomach.
Wait a second. I need more volume here because I don't hear very well because I'm more deaf.
Testing 2 3. Testing 1 2 3.
Let me see. I don't know.
Hello.
Oh yeah. So much better now. Yeah.
Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, like I'm not Mask John, but I can say peanuts. That's my talent.
And you're gonna have your own sub channel called Mask Carla.
Oh yeah, it's called Mangaka Mom. I uploaded the first video the other day, and I'm so happy. I'm so happy that everybody was so supportive with it.
Looks like a lot of fun.
I was a little nervous, because like you are like, well, I mean, I show my face on a daily basis in StreamYard, but it's not the same like to be in a blog where you show your house and talk about your life and your habits and your stuff, and like it's so easy for people to judge you. Like you feel like not exposed, like like everybody can like have an opinion over your stuff, So you never know how people is gonna react to it, if you're just gonna be embarrassed about it. But no. On the contrary, everybody was so supportive. I think I have like 60-something subscribers in one day. My God, I'm just so happy. Yeah, thank you so much, everybody, for your support. That's so amazing. Like I always wanted to make vlogs, so I'm very excited about it. But like. Not to talk about subscribers or numbers or stuff, like I am just excited to record more and more, and I think that's the main sign that I'm doing the right thing, that I'm doing what I enjoy doing, that's pretty much it at the end of the day.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, it was a fun intro video, and I'm definitely excited to see more.
Thank you.
I have to say I was infinitely impressed that you guys don't seem to be pack rats like I tend to be. With
the what? Sorry, what?
I am infinitely impressed that you guys don't appear to be pack rats as I tend to
pack
be.
rats. What's that? Yeah, I read that in the comment, but I didn't understand.
Meaning people who tend to collect a lot of stuff but never get rid of it, so it builds up.
Oh, you mean like hoarding stuff?
Yeah, kind of like that.
Oh, but why? Do we look like hoarders to you?
No, I'm saying you're the opposite.
Oh, okay.
Everything looks so clean and uncluttered. So
Wow, thank you. I mean, like it's not a big apartment, so if it's not big, and on top of that we clutter stuff, that's gonna be a problem. Like we won't be able to walk around, and we are both of us are pretty big, so we like constantly like tripping on stuff and like every day. Like when I wake up, I go to the bathroom first thing in the morning, and I just bang my shoulder against the border of the door, and then John like his little finger in the feet with the bed. A lot of times he has a black little finger because
My toe, it's not my finger, my toe.
Oh, your toe. Well, yes, your toe.
oh,
Sorry.
like,
Yeah, he always like trips on the bed, and we don't have anything. Like we have pretty much like empty.
yeah, which I actually kind of admire.
Oh, thank you.
'Cause the-
When we start like actually like packaging the books, when the spin-off come, I think that's gonna look way more messy, but well, it's gonna be temporary. I'm gonna make sure I record everything in the blogs, like the whole fulfillment process and everything. I think it's something very exciting to share with
absolutely.
with everybody. Mhm.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Oh yeah.
I was gonna run through the perks and stuff to see what's changed. So,
Yeah.
as always, I always like to reiterate that I love when creators have a feature tier because,
Yes.
excuse me, to me at least, it means that this is a kind of best bang for your buck solution. Gives you lots of cool stuff, but at a reasonable price, and also allows you to have a more fuller experience of the book.
Oh yeah, I would say it's reasonable to the point of almost no earnings out of it. But oh well, that's our intention. We wanna make books that people can have. We want people to read our books, you know. And we know what it is like to back up $30 book plus single book plus shipping just for one comic book. Like when people is used to going to the comic store and buying a $4 book, you know. So I don't know, like it was, we tried to keep it as low as possible. And yeah, like right now the campaign, I haven't updated much in the campaign itself because I'm actually working a lot behind the scenes. As you can see, like there's a lot of commissions, a lot of hand-drawn sketches. I'm making a lot of traditional art also, and that takes so much time. And also there's sketch cards, and also I have been commissioned by some other creators for some other campaigns, and I'm kind of like trying to do everything at the same time, but at the same time I'm pregnant, so I get tired very easily. So it's very busy in this office.
Yeah, for sure.
But never stop advancing, never stop doing stuff. Slowly but surely. The important thing is that we already have the books printed. Everything is there in the boxes. So that's the most important thing, you know, like all the finances were like, because like as a creator, it's very easy to get carried away, like, oh my god, we did like 7K, oh yeah, let's party. No, it's not like that. Like my main concern was to actually do a good management of the money, you know, to actually fulfill and to pay for everything we need to pay, that everybody's happy with it. We actually invested a lot in the mailers, you know, that I've seen like NCG a lot. There's been all this controversy over how you package the comics for the customers and stuff. And we actually invested in Gemini mailers. Those weren't cheap at all, but I think it's a very good thing to invest in, because like I prefer so much more like to invest in a Gemini mailer and send it once and having to send like 3 books to the same person and to end up like folded. You know, like the first time around, we were so new, we didn't know how to do it. So we just put the comic in the bubble wrap, no bagging, no cardboard. Then we learned, of course, we changed that. But we were so lucky that nobody got the comic ruined, but that was out of luck. So here you have it. There you go. It's your interview. I won't steal it for you anymore.
Oh man, that was good though. Sorry about that, man.
No, bro. It's all good.
But I was starving.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So the with the first campaign, she mentioned using bubble wrap. Are you talking about the bubble packed envelopes?
Yeah, there was no the first time we sent them out to the people, there was the envelopes and then they have bubble wrap inside. You know.
Mm-hmm.
But we didn't. But the very first lot we sent, we didn't do the cardboard. We didn't think of it really. Thankfully, we had one complaint. That was it.
Wow.
Because all the other books came in good condition. Good. Yeah, thank goodness. But after that, of course, we learned it and we started doing the Vini packaging. If you will, Vini Tartamella. He's a genius when it comes to packaging. You know, he's without a doubt the best packaging in ComicsGate. So he taught us a bunch of cool little things about how to do it properly when you're handling these books. No? Mm-hmm. Because of course in the mail they will just shove them anywhere and they'll bend them and they will do all crazy things with them. But now we like I said, first campaigns are always a learning experience. No?
Yep. So you guys are going with Gemini mailers this time around. In my experience as a recipient of a lot of CG books, I have to say that thus far Gemini mailers haven't failed. Mm-hmm. They've all been success stories. There have been minor dents on the corners, and right. If there's going to be any damage, it always seems to be on the corners for some reason. And it's got enough of a crumple zone on each end. So it's got sufficient coverage. So I've, knock on wood, had a lot of success in the books I've received. Right. And everything has arrived in tip-top shape. So I'm very pleased with Gemini mailers.
Awesome. Yeah. We definitely researched like the best packaging for it, and that's what the conclusion took us.
Yeah. So I was going through the different tiers. Underworld is the digital PDF version of the book. Hades is a digital version of Grim Reaper 2 and the spinoff, The Curse of the Medallion. Sweet. And then the next one, Thanatos, a physical copy of the book alone.
Yes.
Is this pronounced Sharon or
Sharon? Yeah, Sharon.
Sharon. Oh, okay.
That was so that's from Greek mythology. It's the guy who crosses you through the Styx River. He would, he's the one that takes you to the underworld in the little boat, and he's kind of like one of the earliest versions of the Grim Reaper, if you will.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Right on. So that's the PDF Super Pack. Mm-hmm. So you're getting the PDF, the digital version of Grim Reaper 2, the spinoff Curse of the Medallion, and Grim Reaper 1. Mm-hmm. All very reasonably priced. Cerberus, let's see, physical copies of Grim Reaper 2 and the Curse of the Medallion.
And I should add that there will be a pinup included in there as well.
Oh, sweet. All right. So everybody get a pinup in this tier.
Everybody gets a pinup in every tier. Even the digital ones will get a pinup in digital form. Mm-hmm.
Oh, neat. All right. That's sweet. All right. This is one that, all right. So we got a t-shirt one.
Right.
Now, the t-shirts are going to be rocking. So this one has the group photo, but if I'm not mistaken, you guys are planning on, I don't know how you were going to implement it, whether you're going to do separate tiers for separate t-shirt designs or if everything is handled through this one tier. You guys are making other designs available, right, on the t-shirts?
We are, but everything will be available through that tier. Now, one thing that we were thinking about, like since only 5 of them have been claimed, that's probably what we're gonna rock and roll with. If more people start buying, then we're gonna probably make it available for people. You know?
All right. So it's going to rely in part on the demand.
On sales, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, you don't want to put too much excess money if there's not enough demand for it.
Right.
I mean, I personally want the t-shirts.
No, they're gonna be good, man. They're gonna look great.
Yeah, for sure. And it looks like it's going to take up the entire face of the front of the shirt, right? Let me see.
Well, it'll be a big design, that's for sure.
Official Grim Reaper shirt, free shipping.
Oh, I should add that too. Yeah, it's free shipping.
Yeah, it's listed here. Free shipping. Grim Reaper shirt. Now, does the backside have the White Cat Comics logo?
It didn't, but now that you say it, it wouldn't be a bad idea.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Let's see here. And then we got Purgatorio, which is a physical copy plus a physical copy of the book, Grim Reaper 2, plus a pinup, plus a sketch. So yeah, physical copy of the second issue, the spin-off also a physical copy, the pinup, and the t-shirt. Awesome. We got the Paradiso. This includes physical issue of Grim Reaper 2, physical copy of the Curse of the Medallion, plus you get a pinup and a sketch, and the Grim Reaper t-shirt. So that's really sweet.
And the sketch is going to be nice because it's original art, personalized to you. So it's like a really, really sweet gift.
Most definitely. Continue that way. Forgot about that. Okay. Pinup plus a sketch. 5 Rivers. What is the origin of 5 Rivers again?
It's all related to the Greek mythology surrounding death, the underworld, and the Hades. The Hades, if you will.
Sweet. All right, so 5 Rivers gives you the chance to be a character in the 2 books. Is that still possible since you guys are you already have the printed book? It says that according to this, there's 1 slot left, but is that filled or is it still available?
Well, all the perks that are listed right now are still available. What we're gonna do for all those, for the occasional, and it doesn't look like there's gonna be any, but if there is, we're gonna make a special copy for them.
Huh? Dang! Isn't that gonna be quite a bit? Well, is your printing method what they call offset, or is it digital?
You're gonna have to explain the 2 options to me because I don't know. I just send it and pay.
Well, I'm still trying to learn all this stuff myself, but supposedly with offset printing, there's a lot of upfront costs, and it's kind of pricey because it's usually for those who have high volume campaigns,
right?
Because the printers have to take all of these extra steps to prepare their printing equipment, however they do it, for printing a run of the book. With digital, it's sort of close to the on-demand model that a lot of...
Then we're definitely printing digital. We use a printer called Mix'em. Great printer.
Oh, yeah, Mix'em. Yeah. That place has gotten a lot of great reviews from ComicsGaters.
It's great. It's absolutely great. Fantastic.
Right on. So, I'm surprised that's not been scooped up yet. Good golly. Let's see. So the thing I was wondering about. All right, you said that person will get a special issue if it's still sold because it.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Oh, because you'd have to find some way to squeeze them in digitally, right?
Yes, sir. But we wanted to still make it available. There's one slot left. Come on,
Yeah, yeah, for sure, absolutely. Then we've got the Gray Sisters.
Mm-hmm.
I take it that's all based on Greek mythology as well.
Right, the Grey Sisters were the sisters who all shared one eye to see the destiny of a person, and they were so basically they had the strings, and every time they cut, every string represented a person, right, a living person, and when their destiny was fulfilled, when they came to the end of the road, they would cut it, and that would be their death.
That kind of reminds me of the Clash of the Titans movie.
Right. Yeah.
All right. So for this one, you get the commission plus a sketch plus a pinup plus physical copies of the Grim Reaper 2 and the Curse of the Medallion.
Yeah, absolutely. No one has claimed it, so it's a commission. You know what I mean? It's a great deal for a commission, plus books, plus pinup, plus merchandise. Plus a personalized sketch. It's definitely a great price for that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a phenomenal deal. Because commissions can be quite pricey.
Oh yeah.
So it's a hell of a deal, really. It really is. I'm not just saying it. Necromancer is commission. So you get commission with this one as well.
You get a commission. T-shirt, another drawn-in tier with the special book, of course, because you will have to be squeezed in, like you mentioned earlier, and then the physical copies of the book. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then we got Pandora's Box, which is a mystery box filled with books and lots of surprises. Books and merchandise.
Absolutely. Books and merchandise, mystery box. You don't know what you're going to get. We promise it's not going to be like a, like a dog turd or anything like that. It will be something you enjoy.
Or even a bag of dog turd set on.
Right.
At the same time, it might be a box of chocolates, right?
It might be.
Oh my gosh. And I know I mentioned it. I must sound like a broken record because on most every one of my promotional streams, I point out that I do love when campaigns show the grayed out, sold out tiers because I get to see what I missed out on.
Yeah, this one was great, man. Simon is such a great artist. You know what I mean? And he's such a quick artist too. Have you ever seen him in action? He can draw this in like 2 seconds.
Yeah, he is fast. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he's fast, but he's really good. And I heard he's fast at everything too. But but no, Simon is a great artist. And we love the sketches, that's for sure. And he was very kind to do this for us as well. I know Carla did something for his campaign. And there'll be more projects coming with him because he's definitely a fun guy to work with. Oh. Definitely a straight up guy for sure. Mm-hmm.
Right on. Absolutely. It sounds like it. Yeah. So let's play this is a freaking cool campaign. Everybody back it. It needs to hit 10K. And then after it hits 10K, then it should go higher. Let's play the trailer once more. All right.
That was a cool trailer.
Yep, I agree. I agree. And yeah, this is a pretty sweet deal. You already have physically received the Grim Reaper 2 books
And the Grim Reaper ones as well.
and the Grim Reaper ones. You're just waiting for the spin-off to arrive.
We're waiting for spin-off. We're waiting for pinups. Once we receive them, we'll start, of course, printing. Making the shirts. We already have your box, so that's something. And then shipment date is upon us.
Oh, you already have the Gemini mailers?
We do, yes.
Oh, nice.
That was actually one of the first things Carla ordered. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. Excuse me. Right on. That's very exciting.
Yeah, we're excited to see what the reaction of the people is. I want to hear feedback. I want to see reviews online. We did get some pretty cool reviews the first time around. I remember Joe Frogo, Nick Canup, a lot of them. They gave us great reviews. That's for sure.
Oh, nice. Right on. Fantastic. Love it. Love it.
Great
Love
friends, by the way. Great people, all of them. Everybody who supported us, who's helped us out. We couldn't be more grateful. We couldn't be more thankful. You guys made this possible for sure.
Awesome. I think it's time we bring this to a close. So I wanted to thank everybody in the chat for joining us. I thank everyone who watches this in replay for joining us. Very special thanks to our guests, John and Carla.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for being here, and greatly appreciate you coming on the show again. You're always welcome. John, would you do the honors and share with the world how they can reach you via social media?
Yeah, of course. I am on Twitter, and I will tell you because my name is just a bunch of numbers. As at John Gal, that's GAL 749233137. So that's how you can find me on Twitter. I always follow back unless you are, some cam girl who just wants to meet single men. In that case, I will not follow. But everyone else I'll follow. So yeah, definitely give me a follow on Twitter if you haven't done so already. If you want to be my friend, you can also check me out on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, on our YouTube channel, I should say, WyzGyz Comics. When I do a bunch of rants with a weird mask on, it's called Mask John, actually, not John Mask, but Mask John. And we also do, like you as well, we do interviews. We promote a lot of people in the indie comic scene, and yeah, we do have a lot of fun in this on that channel as well. Also, follow my wife. That's probably the easiest way to find me too. Carla Tornilli. That's Carla_Tornilli on Twitter as well. And yeah, and then of course check out our Indiegogo page, the Grim Reaper 2. At the bottom of it, you can find our email, our Twitter account. What else? Our cell phone number. You can call it anytime.
Your blood type, social security numbers,
all that.
Prints, your optical signature.
Right. Yeah. You can basically become me.
Your DNA.
Right.
All right. I'm sharing in the chat the link to WyzGyz Comics. Go to Master John Speaks and check out those videos. They're very fascinating and entertaining. Check out while you're there, Powerpuff Girls, as well as what is it? Is it Manga Mom?
Yeah. So my wife's channel is manga. How do you say it? Mangaka? Mangaka Mom.
Mangaka Mom. That's it. Her Carla's vlog.
Yes.
And then also shared the Indiegogo link for a Grim Reaper 2.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Right on, right on. Yeah, so you can find me on Twitter, WyzGyz Tweets, on Twitch, WyzGyz Twitches, YouTube, WyzGyz Entertainment. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Mark the bell for notifications. When you mark the bell, be sure and mark all notifications so that you are less.
And he's open for nudes. Don't forget that. From hot girls only. From hot girls only.
Oh, yeah. There we go. And so hopefully you don't miss a stream or video. Thank you all again. Thanks to our once again to everyone in chat. Thanks to everyone who watches us on replay. Thank you to John Gallagher and Carla Tornielli.
Absolutely.
And,
thank you for having me.
we're wrapping up, ending broadcast in